Welcome back to your next lesson on music and entertainment. In this lesson, we will go over the different types of musicians available, your ceremony music, reception music, the average cost of musicians, other types of entertainment, what's trending in music and entertainment right now, and ways to save money on your music and entertainment. Did you know that 52% of couples say they've seen their band or DJ perform in person prior to booking them? Or that 87% of couples choose to do a first dance? 74% of couples have parent dances? And 17% of couples hired special entertainment for their guests like sketch artists, aerialists, or tarot readers. First, let's go over the types of musicians. For centuries, there has always been some sort of sounds played to signal the start of a marriage ceremony, from drums to the blowing of a conch. Music is an integral part of any wedding. If you've ever attended a wedding before, I'm sure that you're aware that there is some type of music playing in the beginning, middle, and end. The hardest part is deciding what type of music or musicians to choose for these parts. In this lesson, I wanted to explain the different types of musicians that are available to hire for your wedding and what they do. Disc jockey, better known as a DJ, is someone who does a lot more than push buttons and play music. DJs are responsible for getting to know you and your music tastes. They can provide you with things like microphones and speakers for your outdoor ceremony. They can provide lighting and a cloud of smoke for you to dance on during your first dance. Oftentimes, your DJ is also your MC, or Masters of Ceremonies, and the MC is in charge of announcing the entrance of the bridal party, introducing your speakers during your wedding toasts. This person will announce the cutting of the cake, will announce the first dance, as well as any other special dances. They also announce when the food will be served and when certain aspects of the wedding begin and end, as well as the last dance and the end of the evening. This person entertains your guests and get them up on the dance floor for a good time. They make sure all of your chosen wedding songs are played at the correct times and according to your specifications. They work together with your venue and wedding coordinator to make sure that all critical points on your timeline are met. They also work with your photographer and videographer by letting them know when things are about to take place so they don't miss any critical shots or footage. DJs play a critical role in the flow of your ceremony and reception, letting your guests and vendors know what's coming up next, as well as ensuring they get your guests up, dancing, and having a great time throughout your reception. A good DJ sets the tone and vibe for the entire day and can provide your musical needs from the ceremony straight through to the end of the reception. I absolutely love live music, where you can catch me when I'm not coordinating a wedding on a Friday or Saturday night. You guessed it, out listening to some good live music at a bar, restaurant, or concert with some friends. The choice of a DJ or band really comes down to the type of mood you want your reception to have. They can both provide your guests with music and entertainment throughout your ceremony and reception. However, there are some notable differences. A DJ will be less expensive than a band because a DJ is only one or two people, while a band, each member takes a cut of the fee. A DJ will also provide you with a fixed fee for a standard package, while bands usually charge by the hour or by the set. A DJ usually brings all of his own equipment, whereas a band, you may need to secure rentals for some of their equipment. And then we have ensembles, and these musicians require no electricity or have any special space requirements to play music throughout your ceremony and reception. They can most oftentimes even walk around and entertain your guests. Ensembles are most often used during the ceremony and sometimes the cocktail hour, and then clients choose to have a band or DJ for the reception. Ensembles come as solo artists, and solo artists are single musicians that play a certain type of instrument at your wedding, like a harp, piano, or violin. They are commonly hired to play during the ceremony, specifically during the prelude, processional, and recessional, which we'll get into a little later in the lesson. Duos are two musicians that play, let's say, a violin and cello, or two violin players, and are an excellent choice for smaller, intimate wedding ceremonies and cocktail hours. Trios are comprised of three musicians that play a mixture of three types of instruments or strings like a flute, violin, and cello, or two violins and a cellist in a string trio. Trios are great for outdoor weddings when you want big sound but have a smaller budget. Quartets. You may have heard the term string quartet before, and that's because it's a popular type of ensemble made up of four musicians playing string instruments like two violins, a cello, and a viola. Quartets produce full, lush sound to over 100 guests. And last but certainly not least are vocalists. These musicians are hired to sing certain songs during your wedding and are sometimes accompanied by a guitar player, flute player, or harpist. Well, now you know what types of musicians there are available, so why don't we talk a bit about when the music is typically needed during your wedding? Ceremony music. Your ceremony music is generally broken down into four categories. The first being the prelude. The prelude is the ambient music that is played while your guests are being seated and waiting for the ceremony to begin. It is usually light and sets the mood, and prelude music typically begins 45 to 20 minutes prior to the beginning of the ceremony. Then comes the processional music. The processional music accompanies the entrance of the extended wedding party, meaning family, attendants, and the bride. While the same song can most certainly be played for the entire processional, most couples choose to change the song once the bride enters to highlight her grand entrance. Some guests also choose to add interludes, which are played during significant moments such as the unity candle lighting or singing. At the conclusion of the ceremony, the recessional plays. It is traditionally joyous, celebratory music that accompanies the wedding party as they make their exit from the ceremony. And to wrap up the ceremony comes the postlude, and this music is played as the guests exit the ceremony. I once had an Irish couple have a bagpiper lead the guests out of the church in a conga line fashion. It was quite the exit. Now, throughout this lesson, I'll be showing you a couple of slides of popular songs for all these stages of your ceremony and reception. But don't worry, you can always press pause if there's something you like, or to make it even easier, on the right-hand side in the download section, I have sheets that you can print out for every single one of these, so don't worry if we go too fast. Now, throughout this lesson, I'll be showing you some popular wedding songs for your prelude, processional, recessional, your reception music. Don't worry if we go too fast. You'll find at the bottom of this lesson in the download section is a sheet that you can print out for every one of these topics. Some popular prelude songs are Some popular processional songs are Some popular recessional songs include Now, there are just as many aspects to the reception music as there are to the ceremony music, so let's jump right in and explain them all. Your cocktail hour music. And cocktail hour music is played, well, you guessed it, during the cocktail hour. The music is usually low-key but lively and enjoyable. The goal with this music is that you're not trying to make anyone dance, but you don't want to put them to sleep either. The bridal party entrance, and this is a song that is played while the DJ and MC announces the members of your wedding party to your guests. It's usually celebratory music and a good chance to set the tone for the bride and groom's arrival and entrance. Then the bride and groom's entrance. This song marks the bride and groom's entrance into the reception as the DJ or MC announces them as husband and wife for the first time to their guests. It is typically an upbeat song and continues to set the tone. Your first dance. No matter if you choose to do your first dance right after you're announced and before the meal service or once the meal service is over, this song is usually your song and one that is meaningful to the both of you. Maybe it's the first song you heard on your first date or the first song he sang to you. However, if you don't have a song, I'll make sure to go through a list that can help you choose from one. The father-daughter or mother-son dance. Traditionally, the father of the bride dances with her usually after the first dance, followed by the mother of the groom dancing with her son. Now, if you choose to do your first dance before dinner, you could do these special family dances also once dinner concludes before the DJ opens the dance floor to your guests. Reception music. During dinner, the DJ will typically play some light background music to keep your guests entertained. Then, once all of the toasts are finished, everyone is done eating, and you've had your special dances, the DJ then invites your guests onto the dance floor to boogie down. After 45 minutes to an hour of dancing, it will be time for other activities like the cake cutting, your bouquet and garter toss, if you're including that, and after the dancing continues until the DJ plays the last dance, which will indicate that the reception is coming to a close. So now you'll see a list of popular cocktail hour songs. Some popular bridal party entrance songs include Some popular first dance songs include Some popular father-daughter dances include Some popular mother-son dances include Some popular reception music songs include Some popular cake cutting songs include Some popular bouquet toss music includes Some popular garter toss music includes and some popular last dance songs include Now let's talk about some average costs of musicians. Let's talk a bit about what you can expect to pay for this type of coverage and the level of service that you can expect to receive. If you're looking to hire a DJ who does it as a part-time thing, you can expect to pay between $400 to $600 for 4 hours. These types of DJs can be gems, but can also not be too prepared and just shoot from the hip. If you're looking to hire a professional DJ that does this as their full-time job and is well trained and committed to making sure the wedding goes as perfectly as possible, you can expect to pay around $800 to $1,200 for 4 hours. Now, when it comes to musicians, a solo artist will run you approximately $100 to $400 for 2 hours of service, while a duo will run approximately $800 to $1,200 for 2 hours. A trio or quartet, about $1,000 up for 2 hours of service. If you're looking to hire a band to play live music, you can expect to pay for 4 members approximately $1,500 and up, while a 5-member band will cost you $2,100 and up for about 4 hours of live music. Now, I couldn't complete this lesson without letting you know that musicians are obviously not the only types of people who provide entertainment for weddings. So let's go over a list of other types of entertainment you can consider in addition to musicians on your wedding day in order to provide your guests with some fun and unique experiences. Entertainers like cigar rollers, mixology stations, craft or face painting for the kids, if you have any at your wedding. There's characterists, table trivia, giant Jenga, bounce castles, casinos, karaoke, singing waiters, flash mobs, choreographed routines, treasure hunts, videos, dance routines like the cha-cha slide or the Dougie, the whip and the nay-nay or line dancing, jukeboxes, tribute bands, fireworks, sparklers, if they're permitted, fingerprint guest books, celebrity lookalikes, and dueling pianos. Then you have interactive food stations like table chefs, burrito bars, burger stations, taco stations, mac and cheese stations, and food trucks. You also have dessert stations like ice cream booths, candy bars, chocolate fountains, s'mores, waffle stands, donut towers, cotton candy, and popcorn. And we can't forget your drink stations like mini wine tastings, a whiskey bar, pimp your Prosecco bar, do-it-yourself cocktail bar, a gin bar, a champagne tower, or a vodka luge. Now, I wanted to touch on a few entertainment options that are trending right now, as couples are definitely cutting their guest lists in order to spend more on providing a unique and unforgettable experience for each guest. Dueling DJs or dueling piano players. This is by far one of my favorite things in the world at a wedding. If you want to get the crowd pumped, you cannot go wrong with dueling DJ or piano players. And if you've never heard of this, you're truly missing out. Basically what it is 2 piano players sitting face to face playing music. They get requests directly from your guests. The first time I saw this was at an adorable little venue in Charleston, South Carolina called Cutie Keys. And there, where I kid you not, 6 or 7 bachelorette parties going on there that night, and it was by far one of the best nights out I've had in a long time. Everyone was singing and dancing, and the vibe was absolutely amazing. Cabaret singers. Cabaret singers are a great way to create a fun and exciting atmosphere for your reception. They are a great way to break the ice and relax your guests while adding a memorable touch to your wedding. Theater performers. Flash mobs and surprise performances by a cappella groups are big trends in the live performer category for 2018 wedding trends. Aerial acts. These artists have been around for decades but are now gaining more popularity at weddings. And what these performers do is a type of performance in which one or more artists performs aerial acrobatics while hanging from a fabric. Sketch artists. These artists sketch pictures of your guests at your wedding and will make an awesome souvenir for your guests to take home. Gift maker booths and photo booths. Grab the props and let your guests take pictures that they will remember for a lifetime. These photos can also be your guest's favorite to take with them should you choose, and it's something people of all ages absolutely love. Tarot card readers and astrologists. It seems that people are getting more and more into the tarot and astrology, so why not provide them with something or someone who can read their cards or help them on their life's path while they take a break during your reception. Magicians. These are also the types of performers that have been around forever but are now becoming more popular amongst wedding receptions. Why not hire a magician for a 30-minute show or have them walk around during your cocktail hour entertaining your guests? It's sure to be a hit. Now, let's go over some important tips to keep in mind when considering what to book as far as music and entertainment go for your wedding. Now, a DJ is less expensive than live musicians, and they can sometimes include simple lighting and photo booth setups. You'll want to keep sound in mind, and what I mean by this is if you plan on having your ceremony, cocktail hour, and reception all in different rooms, you're going to want to make sure your musicians are aware of this so they can provide ample speakers in each location for your guests to hear music and any announcements. Keep your guest to musician ratio in mind. For example, a quartet is a good option for a group of 200 typically. If you're looking to save some money, you could consider hiring a duo or trio and a sound person. You will want to be mindful of what will sound good amplified if you're hiring musicians. Guitars and string instruments usually resonate the best. Acoustics also plays a big role here too. If your venue is indoors, the acoustics will most likely be adequate. However, if you're outside and have 200 people, a duo will just not cut it. So if you're planning an outdoor wedding, you'll want to make sure your musicians are prepared with microphones or you hire enough musicians to combat the outside noise. Discounts. Most musicians will offer discounts for events on any days other than Saturday, which is always the busiest performance day of the week. And, if possible, try to audition the musicians in person. Recordings can be easily enhanced and not offer a genuine representation of live performance capabilities. So, I hope you've enjoyed this lesson on music and entertainment, and I'll see you in the next lesson.